Hi everyone, welcome back to 40K Rogue Trader. Okay, the previous episode, number 7, is uploading in the background. And I think I might just carry on playing. Okay. I was going to go here, wasn't I? Lord Captain, there's some commotion on the officer's deck. The lady navigator's left her quarters and is currently in the wardroom. But uninitiated crew members are shunning her in terror. Perhaps you should find out what's brought Cassia to the deck. Oh yeah, she's the navigator. She can wipe them all out, just one blink of an eye. Literally, one blink of an eye. Also, she is a mutant. And mutations of any form are heavily shunned in the Imperium. Rightfully so, because of the history. And the ruinous powers. Okay. Here's fucking high maintenance. But essential. Otherwise we all get stranded.
Lord Captain, my apologies. I did not notice your entrance.
Lady Navigator is engrossed in perusing the dusty tomes, which appear to have been neglected by the other officers, be it because of sloth or dullness of mind. When you walk closer, Cassia looks up at you, starts, and hides the weathered book behind her back. She might take that the wrong way. Like, didn't think she could. What was above her, she would have been... Might be expected her to crumble under all the stares and gossip and stuff. That's why I was like, to hold everyone's attention. I don't know what that means. Okay. It's pleasing me to see you adjusting to life aboard the ship. This will probably get taken the wrong way.
Compared to Urak 5, your ship is a boundless world of unfamiliar hues. And yet, the abundance of bright colors can at times be wearisome on the eyes. The bridge and the decks are so clamorous. In my search for a place of quiet, I was fortunate to come upon this islet of serenity filled with rare tomes and practically devoid of color.
You didn't take it the wrong way. But I guess, glamorous can mean we're looking at her and everyone's emotions and fear, powers, and paranoia. So, I'm in here like nobody reads books anymore, kind of thing. Okay, I kind of get it. Calm down, calm the brain fog. Events that took place in York 5 must have shaken you greatly. Well, I guess you might take it the wrong way.
One should not underestimate the navigators of House Orselio, Lord Captain. Like a shawl of pale smoke, a faint malaise hangs upon my shoulders, but it will not be the slightest hindrance to my duty to humanity, and my duty to you.
Cassie's response is reserved and pointedly decorous, clearly intended to create distance between. Are you satisfied with your new attendance?
Your servants are somewhat sluggish when it comes to attending a noblewoman of the Navis nobility, but they are quite tolerable. Thank you for your concern.
Lucky I got any at all. Wipe your own arse. Perception test succeeded. Cassia cringes ever so slightly, adjusts their dormant on her forehead, and then awkwardly hides her clawed fingers in the folds of her clothes. The natural appearance of navigators often becomes a topic of gossip among lowly servants and officers alike. It's clear she does not feel comfortable aboard a ship teeming with new people. Should take that the wrong way, definitely. Point at the book in Cassia's hand. I see you are fond of reading.
Oh, this. I found this fascinating read on one of the shelves, and I must say, it has caught my eye. Its every chapter is written in verse. I find it so beautiful and enrapturing.
Cassia carefully shows you the book, which turns out to be a collection of works by the Canadian naval commander and poet, alias Quent.
URAC 5 had a vast archive of its own, of course. Although most of the works within had to do with scholarly disciplines of some sort or another. Only in my sparse moments of respite was I allowed to escape into the pages of more embellished works.
Cassia gently brushes the dust off the cover with a thin, clawed hand, her eyes filled with longing after reminiscing about her lost home. Oh, I've got to say that, I don't want to say that. By the way her image is here, the voice acting and the kind of like naive, sheltered, noble rich woman kind of thing, but she's that's just the waifu character, I guess. I hope they have ample time to calm yourself under your powers. She's going to take this the wrong way.
There are people on this ship who are far more impulsive and dangerous to
Exactly,
others,
yeah.
and far less devoted to the God Emperor than a herald of the Navis nobility. But I did not need your words to see the shades of umber unease that whirl around your subjects whenever I am near. Were I not acquainted with such a reaction, I could have found their behavior in your question just now insulting.
Yeah, she's a bit touchy.
Lord Captain, would you kindly explain to me why you are pestering me with these questions? Inquiring about my mood and my needs, showing an interest in the books I am enjoying? You are behaving as if you possessed a shred of fellow feeling for one such as I.
After an awkward silence, Cassia frowns and purses her lips.
I beg your pardon, Lord Captain. That was no way for a navigator to conduct herself.
Frightened by her own words, Cassia covers her mouth, pales, blushes, then pales again, and hides her face behind the cascade of her snow-white hair. Oh. Nothing to apologise for. Human emotions are natural, be they good or bad. It's just natural to share them with others. But also, she's got to keep them under control, otherwise she'll blow up the fucking ship.
Please forgive me. I cannot even understand myself right now. Your words and attention have reminded me of life on the station, of Theobald and Felek. I do not understand. They were merely the keepers of URAC 5. So why do memories of those two make me feel a strange heaviness here?
Feminist of her expression cracks, revealing the great weariness beneath. Places a hand on her breastplate. She's what, from the writings we read in the last couple of episodes, she'll be about 18 or 20? And constantly locked up and brainwashed by a certain way of doing things just in that station and for those people in that house. They were merely keepers, like just servants, and more like they were NPCs and not actual living, breathing entities. Perhaps she's just starting to understand.
At the same time, I find myself overwhelmed with new excitement and anticipation. At last, I have set foot outside my familiar walls and into a world that I have only seen before in the pages of books. Your ship alone is a treasure trove of remarkable artifacts and curiosities. And just imagine the things that await beyond, but... my delight must seem childish to you, surely. In your heart, you must be finding all this quite amusing.
Well, I find childish your man of addressing me as if I was your friend, and your mistaken belief that anyone here can be interested in hearing about your emotional turmoil. Oof, harsh. If I wasn't a psyker, that was more of a kind of commissar kind of attitude. Same with that be. I understand what you're going through. My own life was turned upside down not too long ago.
Indeed. I did not know. That is to say, I could not have known, as it is the first time we are speaking in a circumstance so... private. My word, when I found this place, it was so full of officers. Why did they all leave?
She glances around the room, going somewhat sheepish. Probably because they're scared shitless of you. You do not tolerate idlers on the ship, and my officers know well. Perhaps my people did not wish to disturb you. Yeah, probably scared shitless.
Or
that too.
Because my presence offends them. Then I must take my leave as well. I am due to inspect the Sanctum Navis after the communion ritual and prepare the chamber for the upcoming warp jump. Thank you for your company.
An expression of courteous aloofness on her face. Cassia offers you a curt nod. No, she knows you can't do anything about it, but probably weighing heavily on her. No, she's got an eternity of solitude and loneliness. And a very bad death, probably, in the chair. Anything here? I don't even know where we are. Upper decks. I've been here before. I'll have a quick scout around. Is there any goodies to steal? I mean, steal is my own ship. Rediscover. I bet this is bloody empty, isn't it? Now here. Nothing. I won't be surprised if Cassia was getting some of the erotic fiction about heroes as well. Being such a secluded upbringing. Okay, so that scripted thing was over. Okay. Some more talking now. Talk time. We've got Cassia, Argenta. I was going to talk to Cassia, Argenta, because we didn't talk to her since the, this where she was? To the right. Since we did the orphan thing, I don't think we had a chance to talk to her. In case I fuck it up. What the hell?
Greetings.
Even in stillness, Sister Argenta radiates energy, her dark eyes shining and a slight blush to her cheeks. She is reciting a prayer and looks at you only once she has spoken the final line. What is it that's keeping me in my retinue? It's not time to fuck off, is it?
This ship was targeted by heretical pirates, which means that my presence here and the assistance I provide to you are my sacred duty. Sooner or later, I will likely have to return to Footfall to protect its reliquary. But for now, I wish to remain a part of the rogue trader's crew.
Either of those two is good. Pleasing me to have a servant of the Golden Throne in my crew. My enemies of the Imperium tremble before our onslaught.
So they shall.
A big plus from her then. Keep her sweet because she's fucking good. Valet, okay.
Words cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our stimulating conversations.
Yeah, I guess everyone ignores her and just avoids her. Tell me about yourself.
I am a part of House Orselio, an ancient dynasty of the Navis nobility. Since time immemorial, our family has served to advance knowledge, pushing at the boundaries of the dark unknown. The Starway Atlas contains 2,843 routes that chart the sectors of the Segmentum Obscurus and reach all the way from the Koronus Expanse to Holy Terra.
Okay.
And uniting the Imperium's thousands of worlds. House Orselio is bound by commercial pacts to houses Galeatis, Ortina, Drotus, and... There is a dark blue knot tightening on your neck, Lord Captain. I can see my reply is not satisfying your thirst for knowledge. What is it you desire to hear exactly?
What about you personally?
You wish to know about me?
That was ahead slightly.
I suppose I can help you with that. What would you like to know?
Have you ever lived anywhere other than York 5?
Hardly. According to the chronicles of the house, I was born on one of the Orselio worlds. Oh, what was it? Please forgive me, Lord Captain. My childhood memories are too vague. Sometimes I dream about the colorful birds that built their nests in the garden, or the servants dressed in purple livery, or the blue fog that rolled over the lowlands behind the palace. But everything is covered in a rosy haze. Perhaps it is my imagination, not my memory, that is painting these pictures.
Tell me about your life on the station.
My stay on the station was wholly dedicated to preparing me for my future duty. Astromancy, astrography, numerology, the histories of my house and the Imperium, as well as other disciplines. For many years, dozens of instructors tirelessly prepared me for my destiny. And once a year, Great Regent Alronto would come to the station. He would entrust his beautiful vessel to my command, so that I could master the practical aspects of our art as well.
Do you have any friends someone could turn to for a simple conversation, not a discussion of yet another lecture?
The Regent gave me a bird from a sunlit planet once. I tried to befriend it and make it sing, but for some reason, it refused and died soon after. The instructors were too respectful of my duty to my house to waste precious time on idle chatter. Aside from them, there were only servants on the station, and you know they have their vocal cords removed, so they cannot break their vow of silence. And since the subject has been breached, Lord Captain, why do you not follow this honored tradition? Your decks are so garish. Apologies, I meant noisy. The rabble don't just chatter.
Rabble.
Sometimes they shout and even sing. Why do you allow such a lack of restraint? Rogue traders are highborn, are they not?
I find it difficult to believe, but the practice of depriving servants of their voice is not particularly widespread outside of House of Celio.
Please forgive me, Lord Captain. I was sure it was a sacred tradition made sacrosanct by the ancient vows of obedience. I expect more surprises will be waiting for me outside the walls of Urak 5.
Yes, there will be. What does it feel like to guide a vessel through the warp?
It may be difficult to describe. You see, every navigator perceives the warp differently. My mentor, Great Regent Alronto, always described his travels through the Imperium as a journey through a vast wood with countless paths. And I, assisting him in the first voyages, futilely tried to follow his example. But the wood would not reveal itself to me. But everything changed when I found my own key to this mystery. You see, I've always brightened up my rare moments of leisure time by painting. You may recall there was a workshop in my chambers. As soon as I imagined the warp as a blank canvas, an indescribable feeling came over me. I moved the brush, going deeper and deeper into my own painting. Visions were hidden within the vibrant colors of my palette, and something inside me knew which should be brought out and which should be left behind. I woke up several days later, after the voyage was safely complete.
I noticed that your love of painting is reflected in your speech as well. You associate so many images with hues and colours.
The Emperor graced me with a gift. I can see inner life in addition to the mundane. You cannot know that a fruit has rotten from the inside until a blade slices it in two. I can see the rot from far away. It roils like swamp mud, oozing through the bright peel. Anger and boredom, sadness and joy. Everything that people shut away inside themselves is revealed to me like colors on the canvas of my world.
Yeah, let's talk about something else. The third idea. Yes, I should do.
You will hear no objection from me, Lord Captain.
Tell me about House of Celio.
As the only voice of our family on this vessel, it is an honor. As long as your questions are courteous, I will answer every one of them.
It's the Celio prophecy system named after your ancestor.
You are shrewd indeed. My ancestor charted that route while fleeing the enemies of humanity. They say the Emperor himself was his guide, because the warp expelled their vessel without a single loss. Unfortunately, the lips of those who relate this tale seep with disgusting green hubris. I think Colleen Orselio was simply a skilled navigator.
Cassia hesitates, then adds quietly. Yeah. They get House of Celio has a rich history.
Oh, yes. The navigators of the house came to the Koronus Expanse fairly recently, a mere 208 years ago. Before that, our ancestors expanded the borders of humankind's dominion for the glory of the Emperor, blazing trails to different corners of the galaxy.
Who rules the house?
Just as a rogue trader stands at the head of a protectorate, a Novator heads a navigator house. It is the Novator who decides where to look for alliances and which path their bloodline is destined to tread. As for our house, the transfer of power to a successor is currently underway. In the meantime, Great Regent Alronto Orselio is ensuring the stability of the house.
The young woman purses her lips slightly. You lived in seclusion on a closed station until Felix committed a sabotage. Then you must be the Novator's successor.
So says Regent Alronto.
Your voice meeting your
Nothing
eyes.
is decided yet. Some people in the house become enshrouded in rolling grey clouds at the thought of me becoming the Novator. but even more are bound with dull leaden chains. They think I am not ready for such a burden.
Perhaps you need more control over your emotional outbursts. With your permission, I'd like to talk about something else.
By all means.
What does your special sight reveal?
Sister Argenta shines like a guiding star, inspiring resolve in those around her, seemingly inexplicably. However, I see a dark and ugly fog billow behind her, contrasting sharply with her shining light. It burdens the Sister of Battle. It drags her down. Yet Argenta herself is hardly aware of it.
That be that failure she blames herself for, getting ambushed.
Seneschal Viserion is among the few whose colors are a pleasure to look at. Whenever the Seneschal speaks, heavenly crystal clarity spreads around him. And whenever he is angered, dark blue clouds condense over him. And in his rare moments of joy, a pure gleam of sunset pink caresses the souls of those near him. Out of your entire retinue, Lord Captain, he is the only one I would trust with my life.
That's interesting.
Idira's emotions are like a maelstrom, bright, unbridled, enveloping her form like a wondrous kaleidoscope of colors. And as dangerous as a twisting warp storm. The riot of colors hides the truth from my eyes. What exactly is driving this woman? Is it her own will, or...
He hesitates.
Or is it the Imperium, Lord Captain?
This one I must beg my leave.
I have enjoyed your company. Thank you for the conversation.
Okay, that's enough chit-chat. Don't think anybody else has anything to say, do they? Let's get on to this ship. Jesus Christ, again. Lord Captain, sorry to disturb you. Victus pauses. I've listened to something. There's pandemonium outside the bridge gate, and one of the officers seems to be demanding an audience with you in person. I think I heard Master Berserion's voice. In any case, I want to warn you in advance. Can't go 5 yards without getting stopped or some bloody idiot fucking things off. Everyday sounds of the bridge are disrupted by voices raised in anger. Abelard's voice the loudest of all. This is not the conduct of an officer. These are the antics of a high-born brat out on a lark. Explain yourself, Lieutenant. The young woman standing before Abelard strives with all her might not to quail under the onslaught of her superior's anger. She falters, but then manages to look him in the eye and say, I apologize, sir, but I must speak to the Lord Captain. Very well, Lieutenant. You may address the Lord Captain, not least because I see what it seemed fit to disturb her. Your unauthorized appearance on the bridge and displayed belligerence toward a high-ranking officer will be logged in your personal file without delay. Lord Captain, Lieutenant of Villavent, requesting permission to speak. Vent for Sergeant, then adds rashly, on a matter of extreme importance and urgency. I'll listen to what you have to say. Speak, Lieutenant. This man cannot wait. Any minute now, an assault unit will be dispatched to the lower decks in order to crush the workers' strike by any means necessary. I am convinced that this step is unwarranted and that the crisis itself was provoked by the actions of one of the senior officers. Brent is almost trembling with tension as he delivers a speech, face extremely pale. Was Abelard the senior officer in question? Abelard in no hurry to intervene, let out a sceptical cough. Lord Captain, I urge you to investigate the actions of Seneschal Vazirian, it is him, and to intervene in what has happened in the lower decks, because very soon we will have a mutiny or a massacre on our hands. She reels off the last words as though she knows them by heart. She has clearly been prepared to say them for some time. When she's finished, she casts an anxious glance at Abelard, then at you. There's an insurrection in the making aboard my ship, and no one has informed me. Abelard. I would not deem it a problem worthy of the rogue trader's attention. The lower decks, as it so happens, are in revolt. 30-some years ago, we even had a revolutionary leader rise up and dare to establish workers' rule across the entire ship. It took a month to restore order. But even 8 years later, we were still battling rumours that the hero had survived his execution and was on the verge of gathering people to fight against tyranny once more. He scoffs. Needless to say, the rumours were baseless. As for the current situation, we have sufficient forces to deal with it. Vent. But on this ship, the word of Lord Captain carries more weight than a salvo from 100 bolters. I'm sure that if the rogue trader addresses the malcontents directly, she will quell the unrest. I dread to think what problem to disturb the rogue trader with next. Perhaps you'll ask the Lord Question to break up brawls in the mess room? I've already given you the means to resolve this problem. You simply need to use them. If I may, your ladyship, sending a hit squad to crush the rebellion is a means of ignoring the problem, not solving it. How did all this start? A situation can boil up any minute, so I'll give you the condensed version. It all began when enforcers found a cultist amulet on the body of someone who had been killed in a drunken brawl. They reported it up the chain immediately, arranged for a cleansing rite to be performed, and opened an investigation. No heretics have been found alive, but the search has brought tensions between forces and workers to a head. So the enforcers found the cultist amulet on her body. Where does Seneschal Vazirian come in all this? I shall explain, Abelard intones grimly. I beg you to hurry, time is running out. I will not hurry, since my competence is under scrutiny. I shall speak for as long as I see fit. There is an established order to the way things are done on this ship, and one of the pillars of that system is that the rogue trader's attention is not distracted by trivial matters. It is the Seneschal's role to ensure that. I've always handled internal problems myself, though, of course, when I received information about cultists hiding on the lower decks, I took the matter in hand. So long as I live, not one of the vermin who murdered Theodora von Valancius will find refuge on her ship. You were far too heavy-handed, Seneschal Vazirian. The arrests, interrogations, mass punishments for entire sectors. It has driven the people to the brink, Bent says bitterly. Now there's a strike on the lower decks, in Depot 4 to be precise. 3 worker clans are involved, but many more are passively supporting them. The situation could degenerate into an all-out insurrection, but when I reported my concern, the only response I received was an order to dispatch an assault unit and crush the strike with maximum force. What is Depot 4? It's one of the poorest sections of the lower deck. It's home to clans of general labourers. They're not as valuable to the ship as the families who have served as specialised systems for generations. They're an easily replaceable resource, one which is now more besides given succour to cultists and minions of the Arcanum. Depot 4 was poor and troubled. But worse, that means drunken fights and illegal rock-gut brewing. We've handled the works of Depot 4 in the past. We would have done so again if the crackdown on Depot 4 hadn't been so harsh. Another point to bear in mind, the problem is not limited to this sector. It's located on one of the most populated lower decks. Everything that happens there has a knock-on effect on all neighbouring sectors. Willard, what do you have to say? I see no need to add anything. I acted within the remit of my authority, guided exclusively by the best interests of your protectorate and your personal safety. You wish to confirm the rectitude of my actions for yourself? I have no objections. For my part, I urge the Lord Captain to go down to the lower deck, stop the assault unit, and speak directly to the people. You will see that they are not lying or harbouring heretics. That way you will stop your uprising before it begins. I am certain that Sanshello is acting within his authority, but I will verify the soundness of the decision for myself. Go and preserve you, Lord Captain. I thank you for your support. The blood grits his teeth slightly. An enterprise bordering on the sophomoric, but please yourself, Lord Captain. However, I categorically insist that I escort you. Why have I been recording now? 35 minutes. Could be a fight then. I need to go to the loop. I'll pause this here. Okay, I'm back. Let's see what this is all about. Lower deck rabble. For sure. Hey, it's Brazilian. Take that scum. That acid. Look what it is. This is all fault. All their fault, all of it. Blood reflexively wipes the sweat from his brow in a startling human gesture, and a telling one, a rare moment where he allows his age and wears to show through his armour-like veneer of self-assurance. The low decks were a source of endless problems. Sometimes I dearly regret that we cannot replace all the locals with servitors. Let's keep moving. Let's get to the bottom of this. Nobles from the deck. Down here to see us. Something resembling a nest made out of thermal insulation material. This must be where the workers sleep between shifts.
Let us not dawdle.
Valves. Can't interact with the valve. There's multiple valves. Wonder if it's a puzzle. Another one here. Huge pipes, the arteries of the ship, run through many bays, delivering air, water, heat, and a propulsive force of steam. Abelard did not see our purpose and come here. Relax, old man. Going for a stroll on the lower decks every once in a while is good for you. As you see, how simple folk live. It does.
I always keep my options open.
The sounds of a heated discussion reverberate through the ship's bays. Lieutenant Avril Event of the ship's enforcers barring the path of a heavily built assault unit officer, and judging by their expressions and tone, the standoff has dragged on for some time already, and now has reached boiling point. I have my orders to put an end to the unrest and purge the sector. You can take those orders and shove them. This is my deck and my sector. There are only 3 people who can waltz in here without my express permission. The first officer, the rogue trader, and the Emperor himself. So not all my lessons fall on deaf ears. Abelard mutters in a crabby approval. Not clarify whether he means Lieutenant Vent, the officer looming over, or both. Your Ladyship. Noticing the 2 junior officers snapped attention and salute, and their subordinates following suit a moment later. They're not there, just shoot them through girders. Situation. The Ladyship. My people have locked down the bay where the strikers are, including the leaders, with the situation under control as far as resources allow. I encountered some locals on the way here. The conduct was outrageous. They even tried to throw things at us. Vent paled slightly. The people are getting desperate, clearly. They saw the assault unit and they decided they had nothing to lose. I mean, I apologise, Lord Captain. It's outrageous. I'm sure the people simply didn't recognise you. It wouldn't have occurred otherwise. We will deal with them once the current situation is resolved. I want to speak to the strikers. Avalar's mouth twists, but he restrains himself and says nothing. He's going to say something about pandering to them, and they're going to have stupid demands. Right you are, Lord Captain. Allow me to wish you good luck. Hope gleams in Lieutenant Brent's eyes. I mean, Abelard is all about gain of command, and an order should be followed, whether it's a good order or not. That's down here. Anything else around here?
Cast your eye there.
Okay. The container can be seen beyond the massive bars, perhaps examining the pipe below you to reach it. We'll have more of these valves that we can't interact with. Maybe that's where the loot is. Or valves.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Inside the box, a string of scratched letters runs along the edge. Different first names, but the same surname. Looks like this box has been passed down in the family from generation to generation. Must be a good box then. Okay, so we're back out
I
to here.
always have a backup plan.
Let's go and see Lieutenant Brent. Save. Dozen pairs of eyes stare apprehensively at you. The people before you are typical inhabitants of the lower decks. You take in their simple clothing, crude weapons, and faces that display varying levels of mutation, from the barely discernible strange to the outright grotesque. With it, a whisper passes through the crowd. You detect a mixture of fear, astonishment, and joy in their reactions. Finally, 3 people break away from the crowd, an elderly woman and 2 men. They must be the leaders. They bow clumsily before you. Lord Captain, you have come down to us. What is troubling you? Why are you striking? Striking? That's news to us, your ladyship, says a tall thin man in worker's garb. What we're doing is asking questions, saying what we think. The old woman, shut up, Rivet. She turns her hostile dark eyes on you. Here's the deal. Your damned enforcers are all over us down here. Say they're looking for cultists. What? One wrong word, and they're reaching for their batons. You want to punish someone. They turn off the heat into the whole base for weeks at a time, so we get sick and freeze. My clan 2 little ones died from inflammation in their lungs, all because of those enforcers. The old woman spits on the floor and rubs at the spittle with the toe of a worn-out shoe. Magenta does not interrupt the workers, but you see sadness swell in her eyes when the children's deaths are mentioned. She quietly whispers a requiem prayer and makes a sign over herself. I think the Sisters of Battle are mainly orphans who grew up in this kind of area. Parents died in the service of the Emperor, and they've been recruited and brainwashed. Stager. Must be the 3rd one then. Rivet, Stager and the old woman. It's all true. Bent is the only enforcer officer who stood up for us. It's clear as day. Who had a mother from the lower depths, who grew up amidships and has no fellow feeling towards us. A grim man with a scarred face throws up his arms. Your ladyship, we're no villains here, we're honest workers, your servants. We've plotted no disorder, we went on strike openly. And now we've got guns pointed at us. All we're asking to do is be allowed to work in peace without being harassed. So you're saying we went on strike, and the other guy says strike is news to them. Persecution started at apropos of nothing, you say. I was told that one of you was found in possession of a cultist amulet, and there are heretics hiding here. A cultist amulet? What's that? The Google I found on a dead drunkard, but something evil forbidden we sure didn't know. The enforcers just said they were looking for heretics among us, and anyone obstructing the investigation will be punished. How could there be heretics here? We know our own people. We know new faces around. But someone had it. Definitely not, and if they were, we'd be the first to report them. And that's for the amulet or whatever it is. They took off a dead body. I know cultists still breathing in our sector, that's for sure. But when that fight broke out, some enterprising folks looted the bodies. Boots they came back with. Nobody's ever tread these decks when boots are fine, I can tell you. Seems to me these cultists are better commanders than us. Okay. Oh yeah, those boots were really fine. There's no harm in taking them, right? As for the amulet, it must have been pocketed by someone who didn't know any better. We don't need any amulets around here. We all worship the Emperor. And when we're working, we bow down before the machine spirits of the large and small transformers and of the servo motor. The same way my grandfather was taught 100 years ago by a tech priest of King Calling. Believe us, your ladyship, we are people of faith. Naive children, weren't you taught from an early age about the dangers of the arch enemy's creations? Weren't you warned that any unfamiliar object could be one of them? We were told, Holy Sister, but it was long ago. The last time we saw a confessor in our sector, it was just after I've had my third little one. That is regrettable. We cannot lay the burden of leading a righteous life on the shoulders of the Holy Fathers. Who will you blame when beasts crawl out of those amulets you stole from the heretics? The Holy Father who was not there, the scoundrel brought evil down on himself and his neighbours. What changes do you want? As you look at this, the exalted Lord Captain himself is asking us what rules rats what we want. Well, here's what you want. We want you to rein in your damned enforcers, to quit turning off the heat, to stop battering everything that moves. No, that's not it. We want the enforcers gone from here. We want to be armed. Give us arms and we'll govern ourselves. We defend ourselves if these cultists do show their faces. I've been leading my clan for 20 years now. To get rid of those clip-moving thugs can only improve things around here. Well, that's not going to happen. None of you are trained in firearms, and it's going to start off with then you're a breakaway state and have a complete revolution. And also, without the training and discipline, we're going to start shooting each other, and clan versus clan warfare, it's just going to turn out bad, so that's not going to happen. You've gone too far, old man. We'll never let the maggots on the lower decks live without the enforcers breathing down their necks. They probably even insist on enforcing upper decks too, as for weapons. What do we need of them? For the days out, we'll have someone shooting the neighbourhood out of stupidity or drunkenness. We don't need that. If the enforcers stop hassling us, that'll be enough. In return, we'll find the scavengers who robbed the cultist bodies. We'll talk to them, one lower decker to another. If there are any more of those damned amulets around, we'll hand them over to the enforcers ourselves. You speak for yourself and your clan, I'll speak for me and mine. I don't want empty gestures, I want real change. The promises to the world now, but as soon as the anointed one turns her back, these brutes will be on us even harder than before, all because we dared to speak out. True enough. Anyone who lived through Thatcher Britain knows that. The tall worker's eyes dart between the two arguing leaders. Every few seconds he opens his mouth as if planning to agree, each time he falls silent, simply making a few vague noises of approval. Chance of that. No. Spreading anarchy on this ship is the first step towards embracing chaos. Putting weapons into untrained hands would be even worse. What's more, the enforcers are needed to maintain oversight and order. Withdraw those demands and we'll proceed to the rest. The tall worker the Korovich shrugs and casts a sidelong look at the older one. Oh Nan, listen, listen. The Lord Captain herself has come down to us and is offering concessions. I don't know a single person in the whole of Depot 4 has ever stood next to the rogue trader, let alone talk to them. Back down. Now is no time for you to be a stubborn old crone. Listen to us, old Nan. Three clans of Depot 4 ought to act as one. We've made our minds up, it's your turn to decide. Don't ask them to disband the enforcers or give us weapons. We don't need any of that. The old woman hisses in dissatisfaction. You two are ganging up on me. Is that it? So brave you are against an old woman. Oh, shut up. I will indeed. I won't go against two clan leaders on my own. You want to make peace with the enforcers? Make you peace. That's great. Just fantastic. Lord Captain, we're all agreed. It's decided. The persecution will stop, and I'll expect you to assist in locating any remaining amulets or weapons left by the cultists. Voidship, thank you. Do not abandon us lower deckers. You came yourself and settled everything. I'll tell my grandchildren about this. Hopefully they'll be a lot more loyal now. Of course, your ladyship, we'll root out any nasty bitters faster than the enforcers. We'll leave no stone unturned. But they're more likely to hear stuff or notice something odd from their own people than the enforcers are. This is a complete bedlam. Are you satisfied, Lord Captain? Then may I suggest we leave this circus and discuss everything en route. Not clear if anything will change for us, but at least we've been shown mercy. They've shown mercy on us, I can't believe it. So yeah. That's good positive stuff there.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Yeah, I've got these valves to sort out. Can't interact with anything yet.
Over there!
Ah. Manometer. This page is where the start of each shift is marked. The last mark is missing. The workers went on strike.
I always get the job done.
The gauge shows that the steam pressure in this pipe is close to the maximum. However, it does not reach the bars at the other end. That's been used. Now I can operate valves. Okay. Multi-key. Small trap. What do we have around? What's happening? Okay. Alright, so it's not going to be instantly reset and start all again. It will be like just a trial and error.
Keep your wits about you.
Was there a valve here? There was not a valve here. Was where we first met those. Okay, there's valves around here though, definitely.
I always keep my options open.
There was. This is where that was. Nope, can't use that one yet. Well, I can use that one. Does it have to be in a certain order? Maybe. I thought that one would be the last one. Okay. One. That one again now.
I guide humanity between the stars.
You're so full of yourself.
So shall it be.
No more valves in here? There's a valve here. Okay.
How can one find the right way without his light?
Yeah, it's not that one.
When the faithful are idle, heresy grows.
Rein it in a bit there, love. Okay. Here. Here.
I will lead us to fortune.
Nothing there.
Do you require an audience? I'll guide your vessel and lead you on your way.
Nothing there.
Did you want something?
Oh, this way, no. There's nothing here. That doesn't do anything.
I'm at your service.
Did I miss that?
This master-crafted patellar augment is not fit for a servitor.
Nothing here anymore, no?
A nice little stroll.
Was there any... here? Ah, there's a valve here. Aha.
I have a nose for profit and a taste for adventure.
We are the
Just
spearhead
on that
of the...
My whispers crave entertainment.
Aha!
That's how it's done.
Force grenades, crack grenades, motor charges. What do lower deck
Is there
engineers need
money
with all
to
that?
be made?
Stopping unexpectedly, Abelard imperiously dismisses the unit to stand at a distance and addresses your companion, saying, "I have an urgent matter to discuss with the Lord Captain. Please give us a moment." He's going to be miserable now, is he? Looks at you, the last vestiges of restraint vanish. Well, are you pleased with your investigation, Lord Captain? I don't like your tone. You kowtow to the disloyal rabble. You believe their lies and show them leniency. Next time the ship is attacked by cultists, that rabble will welcome men with open arms, allow them to wreak whatever havoc they like, because they see you as a weak leader. Is that how you see the future at the helm of the von Valancius Protectorate? Why are you so angry? Solve the problem. But why did you have to be the one to do it? Did you not consider what it might cost you? I would have handled the situation myself had you not decided to intervene, says irascibly. Remember Lord Captain Theodore? Do you think she ever set one slippered foot on the lower decks? No, she did not. Such matters were left to myself and the junior officers while she dedicated herself to her grand designs for the Protectorate. Then it's true strategist and rogue trader ought. Maybe if Theodora spent more time on trifling matters, she wouldn't have wound up dead. There's a new Lord Captain aboard the ship now. I will not repeat her mistake. He looks at you stunned and exhales loudly, then nods curtly. I commend your decisiveness, but I'm uncomfortable with introducing new protocols in the midst of a crisis. And, he sensed some tension, lost my temper, Lord Captain, and I believe I ought to explain myself. He speaks slowly, the words not coming easily to him. The prosperity of the Van Valancius Protectorate is not just an empty phrase to me. I left the Imperial Navy for the chance to see it flourish. It was the most momentous decision of my life. I did it because I saw in Lord Captain Theodora deeds a sign of true greatness. Rogue trade does not simply forge new routes and capture worlds. They create order out of anarchy. The creative impulse was entirely lacking during my time in the military. You had problems with command and authority, I take it? So I left everything behind I'd known, everything my family had known. I come from a long line of officers. I embarked on this incredibly reckless venture. Lord Captain Theodore entrusted me with all the concerns she had no time for. She would go off on her flagship for long periods to distant frontiers on scouting voyages, and the advancement of the entire protectorate rested on my shoulders. And then suddenly everything that had been built over years and years began to quake, rattle like a flimsy hang-up on a seismically active world. One of the senior officers betrayed us. The rogue trader was killed, and who knows what's happening on the planets. I tell you this honestly, without fear of appearing weak. All this has come as a grievous blow to me. I am not panicking or grieving because I cannot allow myself to panic or grieve. I'm duty-bound to aid the new rogue trader, to aid you, to find your footing as quickly as possible. To do that, I must insulate you from problems that in the past have been dealt with by tried and tested procedures set out in the ship's regulations. Procedures that were established long ago and have functioned smoothly for decades, not suddenly be deemed excess to requirements. Wow, this is tough. I understand they need to learn how to respect me as your Lord Captain and Rogue Trader. Except to start living in the new world, a world where Theodore is gone, where you and I have new decisions to make. Inclines his head. Yes, Lord Captain. After a moment's silence, he adds, looking at you with interest, your resolve is admirable and demonstrates strong leadership. I shall remember this moment till my old habits ever begin to creep back in. And now please let us leave the lower decks. If the rogue trader desires to stretch your legs, there are far more suitable places. I mean, I do believe in him, but he's tried and tested methods. Well, I guess it's the kind of 40k way to send in the heavies.
I always have a backup plan.
Right, how long have I been recording now? An hour. I still not got to that bloody destination. Well, so much for that plan in this episode. Okay. Oh, leveled up again. Okay, well, I'll finish here. That was a quick level. Wow. What level is now? Level 7. Okay, level 7. And finish this episode here. And next episode, I'll do the level up. And hopefully get to that floating void ship. Doesn't seem like I did much this episode, but leveled up, sorted out Cassia's bullshit, and then stopped possibly an insurrection and a revolution in the lower decks. Not bad for a day's work. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye all.